Most of us often chase rather pumps than established memes. And a green candle is somehow spoiled for us until it's screenshot. We stare at charts, forgetting it changes nothing. We watch charts, but not ourselves. This is a disaster. For as a result of confusing dopamine hits with actual profit, we are destroying our net worth. We are so tied up in FOMO and charts that we've lost all conviction. Time to wake up. What is alpha? Obviously, nobody can say, because it isn't just drawing lines on charts. It isn't rotation meta, that's just an idea. Alpha is the Giga cycle cannot be explained in words.
Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome to Giga Motion episode 31, Manifesting Success with Farod. Boys, how we doing today?
I'm doing good, bro.
Fantastic. This is going to be a good episode.
Yeah, we got Hop to step in last minute, little late game switch.
Yeah, it was very last minute, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you hopped right in, man. I didn't think you were going to answer. I just messed him like, what are you doing right now? No, that's great. I'm hoping Shine will pop in at some point. It's 10:30 in the morning over by him, so he has no excuse. But I am super excited for this episode. For those of you who don't know who Farod is, I've been following him for a long time. He is a very unique person to the side of Twitter that we're exposed to, CT, crypto Twitter, as they call it. He talks a lot about manifesting and vibrations, and it's just something you don't really hear a lot. But it's also something you don't hear a lot in gym culture. And that's why I was super pumped to bring him on, because I've been in the gym for over 20 years. And one thing I've always realized is this, whenever you start talking about any type of spirituality in the gym, it's like, whoa, what are we talking about here? And it just has such a bad connotation to it. It puts a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think that it's a lot different than what people think, right? They hear spirituality, they hear manifesting, they think of that white chick that has dreads, that kind of smells. You know what I'm saying? They don't really get it. They don't understand what we're talking about. So I thought the perfect guy to explain this is Farod. So, dude, thank you so much for coming on. I am pumped.
No problem, bro.
So yeah, I want to start with, dude, I just started Hermetica this week. It's a pretty cool book based on the ancient knowledge of the pharaohs. I'm only like 30 pages in. I started it yesterday, but already pretty fascinating. Just a pretty fascinating book out of the gate. But I wanted to talk to you about, I heard you on a podcast a couple weeks ago talk about Yoga for Jesus, which I have never heard anyone else ever talk about that book. I read that book back in 2019 at like a pretty low point in my life. And it was like one of the most profound books in the sense of I didn't ever understood what Christ consciousness meant. I think that book explained it better than anything I've ever come across. And for those of you who don't know what that is, Christ consciousness is kind of this all-knowing intelligence that's like put out into the world by God and into Jesus, right? And the whole thing is there's a difference between Jesus the man and Christ consciousness, right? And I never understood that, right? And the second coming you hear, because I go to church, you hear people talk about it, is not that he's coming back, but actually that you are going to get awakened. You know, you'll resurrect to this consciousness. And that was like, I remember reading that. Like I said, I was at a low point in my life, and I like put the fucking book down. I was like, oh my God. And I just had never heard someone talk about that book. So how did you come across that? But how'd you get down this journey? Where does it start for you?
Man, okay. I say I'm 29 now. I just turned 29 in February, like the second week of February. And when I was 18, I was like, it wasn't nothing like that. Like for me, my life kind of was, it kind of was always gonna be a thing because I grew up with a devout like Christian grandmother. Like she first thing I ever learned how to do was like, hey, if you get on your knees and pray, and you be good, you be grateful for stuff, but when you want something, just know it'll happen and do it. That was the only way she ever put it. Just like know God will do it for you and it'll happen. So that's my grandma. My father was a Muslim, but he didn't always just talk about the Quran. He the first time I ever heard about like meditation in general or just being still, because the only thing he ever taught me, like that he ever like the only, and I can say, I guess I would even say like principle, like anything that came to like a moral or stuff like that, like I formulated most of that just on my own. But my father only taught me, the only thing he ever, in terms of a lesson that I can really say is, hey, pay attention. Like, look at that. Like, he never told me much of nothing. He always was like, you tell me what it looked like. Like, what is it? He always emphasized just staring at stuff. Like, most of my life with him growing up was nothing but sitting on the porch, learning how to play chess, or watching him carve up wood and make stuff out, like make little symbols out of wood, or he would always like draw this. Like he would always draw like fractals and different shapes and stuff. Like he wrote poetry and all that kind of stuff. So it was just
interesting.
Yeah, like me, him, a big satchel with pencils and pencils and pens and rulers in it, and a chessboard, and that was pretty much every day of my life, even up until this point right now. Like when I see him, we either doing art together or we just sitting down and not talking about nothing. And my stepdaddy was more like agnostic, like he didn't really have a particular religion that he followed. So when my mother met him, we didn't talk about much of that either. He always gave me a more broad perspective. My daddy always made me pay attention, and my grandma was pretty much like, she was real Christian, and my mother was like real materialistic. Like she only focused on like straight shooting logic and stuff like that. So growing up, I never really had a bias about much of the world. Like I didn't too deep into, like I never had arguments and conflict with people about ideas, not because I didn't have certain ideas in the world based off history. Like, hey, I don't want to live like that. But I was also able to separate my life, the outcomes of my life, how it'll go in relation to what other people think or can choose to do, all the way up to, and as I got older, it just became more radical in the sense of like, okay, well, I guess if somebody burned your house down, you could burn up in it. But at the same time, I could not be there and also not burn up in it. But then it went to stuff like, being Black and hearing people say certain things that have be known as true for people that look like me. Like some parents would tell, some family members would say like, well, because you Black, X, Y, and Z is more likely to happen. But I never said like, oh no, that's about you or whatever. I just would be like, okay. But I never actually took it as a thing, because part of me was like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know. That don't make sense to me. But neither accepting nothing nor really denying much. Like I never formed super hard ideas. So when I was 18 and I got into doing content on the internet, I was on Vine. I just had a way to express myself. I wasn't talking about much like that kind of stuff. I was just making stuff because I like to make stuff and like build stuff and create stuff. So I would just make content and be funny because I saw a friend do it. And I did that for 7 years just for the sole purpose of like making money. Like I didn't really have nothing. I used to tell my grandma growing up that when I was from like 18 to I'll say 20, 23, it was nothing but hopping around, hitchhiking, staying at different places like that. I didn't go to college, so I just did. That's all I did. But I spent almost every summer like around people at college because all my friends went. So it's just me bouncing around, making content, and wherever I'm laying at or sleeping at, and just moving around. Like I never did not have it like food, water, or shelter in that time, but I never was at home either. Like I was always leaving and coming back a few months later or stuff like that. And I always told my grandma all I wanted to do was really just get enough money to have a 2-bedroom apartment and eat chicken wings all the time. That was it. That was the whole plan from 18 all the way up to, I promise, 22 or 23. So I'm 23 and I'm 22 in 2019, right before COVID, at the end of that year, I had an accident. Me and my mama had an accident. The car, we was in a Camaro, car hydroplane. It flipped like, I want to say 3 times. She had injured herself. She injured herself. I didn't really hurt myself, but when the accident happened, my only pull away from it wasn't really much about like changing my life or reflecting on life. What I ended up getting from it was I spent the following weeks after that thinking about not how I was like alive, because I'm alive. Like I don't really have to do too much thinking about it because I'm actually it. So I spent my time thinking about the leading up events to it, like just paying attention to it. And I had noticed it. I did a lot of like, because of the way my mother drives, and what at that time the way she drove and the way she interacted with people in traffic and stuff like that, and her like impatience and stuff on the road, I built up a lot of fear around being in the car with her. And this is just something I had pulled from it. I was like, well, dang, I spent many months already doing that and was very much fearful. Like I couldn't really ride in the car and not be fearful of what something might happen. And then I had noticed that I had done that 3 times in my life, and every time the only accidents I ever had been in was with my mother. It was like 2. I think that was the 3rd one or the 2nd one. But when that happened, I noticed that, and that's what made me put a lot of attention like on my thoughts and stuff like that. Yeah. So after the wreck, I spent time at the crib, and she spent time at the house because she couldn't really go nowhere. So when she started getting better, she got into like I was doing nothing but just, I had gave up on doing content because for one, I hadn't made no money, but I had built a following because I was losing like all my Instagrams. This was in like the Instagrams I had in 2017, 2018. I kept getting them to like 72K followers, lose it. Like I was getting banned because I was doing a lot of roasting content and like going back and forth with people. And I was just doing a lot of crazy content. Like I had a whole series where I would put weed smoke in a bottle with bugs and like suffocate them, but I thought they was getting high. So I would just be like, I did one of them, and them videos literally did like millions. They was memes. They was like just shit posts, but they went crazy viral, and I made a lot of memes. But then when I found out the bugs, YouTube was taking the videos down, and my Instagram was getting took down, and because I was killing the bugs, and I didn't know that, so I stopped doing that. I stopped roasting, and I just started doing skits. So I'm in the house. I gave up on doing content. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give up on it because I don't want to do it. I'm going to give up on it because the pursuit of this thing I'm trying to get, which is money, ain't going to, this not, whatever it is, this ain't it. So I would rather have my ideas or whatever the things are that I think I want, if I can have them in any shape or form, even if it's just thinking about it, I'll do that. So after that, I stopped filming. I would go in the woods every day. And I would go I found this deep alleyway in the woods. Like it was a thin, probably 3 feet wide pathway in the woods to a clearing that opened up like a circle. And I would go out there every day and I would film a bunch of YouTube videos. They wasn't even getting monetized, but I was filming like 4 videos a day, editing them. And then I would just, after the videos, I would just sit out there and pretend like I had I was staying with my mom at the time, but I would pretend like I had a fucking 2-bedroom apartment. Like I was in there, like I would have a whole field day out there. I roll a blunt and just go out there and just post up and have a fucking moment for like 2 hours straight, just feeling good, but not really tripping off of the fact of whether I'm feeling good because I'm fucking touching sheetrock or if I'm feeling good because I'm just sitting on the ground and just walking around using my imagination, because that's something I was always good at doing, like visualizing shit and being able to like hear, see, touch, taste, and feel, even if I close my eyes. That kind of shit was always something I could just do. Like I could picture something in my head real good. So I did that. And I started back making content right after, probably the early part of 2020. And my mother started getting into crystals and shit like that. And then she started growing mushrooms. She got me to try like 2 grams of mushrooms one day. And after that, that was when my attention continued to shift from my mind. And I was like, damn, I had already considered myself changing my life. I wasn't smoking. I had stopped smoking because the room that I was staying in was like dirty. It was just a lot of shit I didn't like. So I had got COVID hit immediately after the round of time I probably was journaling and just focusing on being grateful for my life and just living like that, and for no real reason other than I was tired of living the other way. So I did that. And that was when shortly after that COVID hit, I had got unemployment. I had like $750 a week. Shit, I bought a laptop. I decorated my room. I started buying incense and shit. And my mama started buying crystals. She told me meditation. I looked into fucking meditation. And then found out about Sadhguru. I said, damn, he the one with the gray hair, so he probably knows something. So I go digging into that, and then I get off of that for a minute. Then I ended up finding out about Autobiography of a Yogi, and then I found out Steve Jobs read it, and then that was the year I just meditated and sat down for probably, I wouldn't do nothing but just sit down and think about a 2-bedroom apartment, and that was it. The whole year go by. I got put out of my mama's house. My TikTok about like crypto and shit like that. And then the next year, that was when I ended up January the 7th, 2021. I ended up moving out my daddy house after I left my mama's house, and I ended up getting a townhouse, the apartment. I spent like the next 7 months meditating, eating chicken wings. I gained like 20 pounds, and then I think at the end of 2021 was when I kind of eased up off the chicken wings because I had put on so much weight. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just ease up off this and I'm gonna start doing my yoga. So I ended up just doing a specific practice every day. And then, man, I went through some shit probably after 6 months of really doing it, really focused, like trying to. I had already read, this was when I had read the yoga of Jesus. And I didn't know nothing about none of that. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know what, if I'm doing something right, if I'm doing something wrong, or if I should be doing something at all. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. But I keep seeing people that for some reason I feel like I can trust them. Like I done already read the Bible at this point. I done already heard enough of the Quran from my dad. I done already looked into Hinduism, and I'm like, all right, all the people that I feel like I would trust if I'm talking to anybody in these different groups. If it was a guy from Christianity that I trust, and I'm like, all right, I see the Jesus. And if I'm looking over here, I see the Buddha, and I see the monks, and I see the rishis and the sadhus and the mystics. Like I done looked into all these different people. I'm like, all right, they all saying shit that seemed, at least to me, similar. So I said, you know what? I don't know what to do. So let me sit down. So I just started sitting down, and I sat down for like every day was the priority. Like I didn't care if I filmed shit. I wasn't thinking about nothing. It was not my food, the water, the bills, everything got paid. Like everything worked out, but I can't really confidently say it worked out because I was just locked in on it because I really wasn't paying attention to shit in my life. But shit was being worked out to the point to where I could live the way I was living and still fucking have this space and ability to sit down for this 15 minutes every day. And it got to a point to where I wanted to do it so bad and like so intense, like whatever it was to know that I'm not knowing, that little piece that's missing. I didn't go off into the world like to be like, well, whatever it is I'm looking for is in the world. Like I never even had the fortune of like, I did that for maybe 7 years from 18 to 23. And after that, I was like, yeah, hell no. Like if I spend 7 years trying to make some money out of content and get famous, and I'm like, that shit ain't happened. I don't really need to go try to become a NASCAR driver to see, well, maybe it's that. Like if one didn't work, I could kind of assume the rest of them don't work. So I was like, okay, let me just sit down. Maybe this is something. And after almost a year doing that and nothing happening, me feeling crazy, crying and shit, like just sitting down and not experiencing nothing other than being there, sitting down with my eyes closed in the dark. Like after that, something happened one day to where I fucking sat down, and in my own experience, I don't know how, I never can describe it like ever, but I felt way better than I had ever felt at any point ever in my life. Like to this day, the only time I feel like that is when I'm intentionally sitting still and doing the practice that I do. And for me, the goal is to like live my every fucking waking moment like that. But in that moment, that was the first time that I can say, and that was after trying, I took I'll say a year and a half before this point, because at this point it's like 2022, in the spring of 22, a year and a half or maybe 2 years prior to that, I took mushrooms. I took a whole bunch of them, plenty of times, and I didn't experience the best, like the most intense shit from that. It was not comparable to nothing. Like I'm none of that. Like whether we talking about making money, whether we talking about being off a crazy ass amount of mushrooms, whether we talking about having sex, nothing that I had done in that up to that point in my life had made me feel that way, because I sat down for what was supposed to be like an extra 5 minutes of that practice that I was doing. To just for 5 more minutes, it turned into like 30 minutes that went by in a fucking instant. And normally I had always heard people talk about crying and tears of joy, and I'd always I seen that shit, but I never I didn't denounce it nor accept it, but I saw it. I saw plenty of books, the books that like in the Yoga of Jesus and in Autobiography of a Yogi and in the Holy Science and in all these.
Yeah. Did we lose him?
I heard about the Holy Ghost and Christianity and people crying and all. I'm like, I don't know what's in it that is, but okay. So I'm just sitting here. At first, it was just out of frustration because I wasn't experiencing nothing, and I'm like, I don't feel crazy, but I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like I feel almost like there's a door here that I know is here, but I don't know because I ain't seen it. But I want to fucking see it, but I can't see it. So I'm just kind of stuck in this fucking loop of like, you either gonna be insane as hell and be in hope that you're right, or you gonna just go with the logic of there's nothing there and that shit don't work. So I did that, and then man, when I sat down, bro, I'm talking about colors and shit, and I can't describe it because it was like a fucking like I be saying kaleidoscope, but that's not enough. Like it's almost like a fucking
it's like a vortex.
A fucking yeah, like imagine a space where an infinite space that's constantly caving in on itself at a fucking infinite amount of times at this very moment, not every moment, but right now at the same time, but a bunch of fucking times at separate times, but at the same fucking time. Like that was so different to me that the way I engaged with my like my life on the day-to-day just kind of changed. Like I went from talking on TikTok live about just following people back and just showing love and motivating, saying motivational shit to, hey man, I think like, I like, hey, you should like probably look at your mind and emotions a little more because maybe there's a fucking distance there. Like we put distance between us and everything else. Like me and this computer that I'm talking on right now. Like there's a gap supposed to be a fucking a distance between the front of my face and this damn screen right here. Like, but we put distance everywhere except for just assume that there is no distance. And when I say that, people be like, what? And I'm like, your mind, like you just assume your mind is you or your body is you. This is so fucking close to you that you assume that it's like, oh, there is no distance in that. So if a motherfucker bump you, you bumped me. You didn't bump me, like you didn't bump my body, you bumped me. But then when you pay attention to that, people say, well, how do I put the distance? It never was a thing for me to just be like, I don't know where it came from. I didn't like learn it or didn't nobody teach it to me. It just came to where it was. If you just look at it, you'll see the distance that's already there, because the problem ain't that it's not that you ain't added it. The problem is that you don't see it. And when you see it, then it's like a motherfucker saying you jump out the window because you don't see the door in the room and you think the window is the best way out. But I don't have to prove to you there's a door. If you see that motherfucker, you go use the door on your own. I don't have to make you do nothing. So if you ain't using the door, it's not a good or bad or like a righteous or evil problem. You ain't using certain doors that could provide certain things for you in your life or in the world to, by consequence, create the world that you and whoever it is want to create. It's best to assume that you probably don't see that door rather than to assume like, oh, it doesn't exist or people just fucked up by default, because that just kind of caters to the ignorance. But for me, that's pretty much where it all like came from. It just kind of was at this point, it almost feel like the way it is the way it always was, because when I think about me starting making content, I feel the same way now as I feel like then at the very moment, like at the moment that I started. So yeah, it was pretty much that simple. And then shit, the rest history. Crypto just got mixed into that, and then it was another avenue for me to be like, okay, well, I could just, because it don't matter if you watch content or trade. I want people to, it's shit that people need, in my opinion, like in the way I see the world, people need to start meditating. And that's the point. Like, so I don't care if I'm pushing that shit through talking to them, because I talked at my school one time, my high school, like talking to young people, telling it to motherfuckers that trade, telling it to fucking people on. I don't really care who I'm talking to, because if it's people willing to like be like, hey, I don't know, I ain't trying to tell you wrong or right, but just let me hear what you're saying. Shit, I'm always willing to say it and talk about it, because to me, that's if I had to attribute a life or the greatest thing I could do, it would.
Yo, Did we lose him?
Look at that pause.
That is hey, Shine. Damn, Farod, I think we lost you. That is a crazy. There he is.
Yeah.
I said it's a crazy freeze, dude.
I don't know what that was. But yeah, I said it'll lead to that's something that I feel like leads to a greater change in people, and by consequence of changing the world to where you can then be forgot about. Because once people get so busy paying attention and so busy blossoming in their life and within their experience of themselves, they ain't gonna even remember who the hell showed it to them and nothing like that. 3 generations down the line, somebody think about it, and then they might think about me. But once they done forgot because they too busy living, that's when shit go right. So like,
dude, I got a good buddy that's a trader. He actually is the one that sent me Hermetica, and he sent me Kabbalion. That's the next book I'm gonna read. But he meditates every day. He trades options. He doesn't watch the news. He doesn't have social media. He just looks at the chart. He listens to nothing, and he has this whole like 2-hour morning ritual. And dude, it's incredible. Like, listen to you talk. Like, this is like the stuff he talks about. It's just funny. And he's like, all that's noise. None of that's mad. Like, none of that. The news, all that goes. None of that matters.
Yeah, shit, telling you, man. It's what you make, and it's so fucking insane. That's the reason why when you think about, I always tell people when you think about trading, anybody that ever, I don't care what kind of trading they're doing or to what degree or what their style is, have the reason, it's always this one thing. People that say, well, 2 people can apply the same strategy and get totally different results, or you can. That's the reason why you can make up your own. It's almost like there's infinite strategies. Like you can always make up your own, or you could follow someone else. The reason for that is because, just like he was saying, it's actually noise. Like once a person, I always say it like this, and I don't ever know if people be getting it. I don't think people that's successful or profitable in whatever the fuck they doing is fucking, I just feel like especially trading to any degree or finding anything. Because think about it, when you talk about somebody that's like losing anything, whatever they fucking losing, let's just say they just losing money to whatever they doing, they always, people will be quick to say, oh, I'm having a problem creating what I want or creating the life I want, and this outcome keeps happening. The key word is keep. You have a problem getting shit you want to happen, but you don't have a problem getting shit to happen. Because if we didn't look at luck the way we did, like let's say losing money and making money objectively meant nothing. Good or neither one means shit. That means that if I was to just hypothetically say losing money is a great fucking thing, like it's actually wonderful. And then you look at a person's frequency of like, not frequency like in like energy, but like the rate at which they're losing money and how consistently they do it, they always end up at the right place at the right fucking time. All these different opportunities in the market at any given fucking point in time. I'm talking about, you could imagine use a meme coin. How many coins when they ran, they had long extended periods of time. And people that's in that world that's looking at meme coins or checking to see what's going on and who talking about what, and they never came across it. The people who made it on that coin came across it and was always across it and got probably other winners. Never ran into the shit that they ran into. It's almost like these 2 people never came within the same vicinity or proximity. And in our world, we call that hierarchies. But they ain't, when they're not created consciously, they are still created just unconsciously, meaning that the people still making them. The people create the hierarchies based off the way that they operate, and then prescribe them off onto the world as just objective things. Like, oh, it's just objectively fucking hard to for some people, if depending on where you at, it's hard as fuck to make $100. To some people, it's like, oh yeah, I know $100. To some people, it's like, man, it's hard as a motherfucker to make $100 million. And to some people, it's like, $100 million. But none of these are objective by default. They only exist to the degree that the person, the motherfucker you talking to, is saying that they is saying to the degree of which it is. So when you look at like good things happening to bad people and bad things happening to good people, it's the same concept of whatever the fuck you think is good. The idea that makes it up the idea that connects it to a specific outcome, the idea of that specific outcome, the idea of that whole fucking system being a part of your life, the idea of how that interacts with your life, and the idea of what.
Oh,
Oh
we
no.
lost them. We lost them. We lost both of them. Hop,
They're
I wanted to
gone.
ask you. You went down a similar path yourself, right? Looking,
Yeah.
kind of looking inward, right? And this was recent. This is in the last like 12 months, right?
Well, I've been spiritual for a long time. It's kind of like a similar story to Farod. Hopefully he gets back on. He was going.
Dude, I love
No.
that guy. This is like one of the only guys I could just let. It's like go.
Yeah.
We're not
No,
even
it was really interesting what he's talking about. He's got like he had his dad who was super like, pay attention to everything. His stepdad who was like broad. I love that dynamic. His grandma who's like Christian and his mom was materialistic. You got like a full thing. I think that's why
you got
it's such a deep understanding of like how it actually works. Because a lot of people don't. Like you were saying in the very beginning, you go to the gym and you start trying to talk about some of this spiritual stuff and people just want to tune out. They don't want to hear it. It's like people lose the reality that we're spiritual first versus physical beings. People are fully convinced in this like this world that we're in that we're physical beings first, when in reality we're spiritual beings from a whole different place. We're barely even here. We're like a blip of our entire existence is going to be here on Earth. It's like Shine, what's up?
What up,
dude? Where are you right now? You don't have your beautiful backdrop.
I'm at my new spot.
Oh, new spot. What's up?
Spot. Why you look so baby faced today, bro? You got some filters? You got some beauty filters on or something?
I got some sun today. First time the sun came out. I didn't
You got the beauty filters on, don't you?
No, I don't. I got my mullet trimmed up. I'm back, baby. How's your new spot? I didn't know you got a new spot. How is it? What's up? Farod's back, baby. Let's go.
My damn computer. My computer just turned off.
Nah, you were going too hard, dog. That's what it was.
They were trying to shut you down.
Wait, Shine. I didn't know you were moving. How you like the spot? How is it?
It's awesome. Love
it.
Looks good. Love the new spot.
What do you see out there? What's out the window?
I would open it. It's so overcast though, or it's so overexposed.
That's one of my main things with all this spiritual stuff we're talking about, like nourishing your soul here on Earth. Like I need to have a good view. Having a good view in my like where I'm living, top thing for me. I need to wake up and see something beautiful. It helps me get through everything.
Dude, Bali looks beautiful, man. I gotta go to Bali one time. That place looks beautiful.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah, so Farod, I wanted to. So for people that have never meditated, right? They're hearing this for the first time. They have never even tried it. Where would you have someone start? I'm talking like a regular guy, man, that's never done it before. What would be some advice? Like walk us through something basic that you would recommend to someone that's never went down this road, they never tried any of this.
Sit down for 15 minutes every day. Not even 15, I say 10. Just be still for 10 minutes. A person can simply find 10 minutes out their day to just sit. And when I say sit, I'm talking about even without talking about a specific way to put your feet. Like you can sit down up against a wall with the lower part of your spine supported by like a pillow or some shit, and straighten your feet out. Like keep your feet straight, just like this, and straight out in front of you. And you can just sit there with your hands in your lap, with your right hand overlapped on your left, like this. Hold on, shit like this, with your hands overlapped like that. Or you can put your hands on your thighs, just upright like this, and just sit there for 10 minutes and concentrate on not on you, huh?
In complete silence, you're saying, right? No, nothing, no music going on. Just sit in silence. Oh, did we lose them again? No. See, they don't want this. They don't want this info out, dude. They don't want the gym bros. This will break it. This will break the world. Once we connect the spirituality with the gym bros, it's over. That's it. You're breaking up, brother.
Damn.
There, you're back.
Okay.
You're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, but yeah. So just sitting down for 10 minutes, not even worry about your thoughts or nothing, because your mind just if your attention wanders, just bring it back to your breath and just breathe in your nose and out your nose, in your nose, out your nose, and just put your attention on your inhaling and your exhaling. If your mind go away from that, just bring it back. Don't worry about all this, a good thing, bad thing. Did I fuck up? Just don't worry about this shit. Just bring the attention back to to your breath. Keep your attention on your breath and just be still and be quiet and just pay attention, not to nothing, just attention, not to a thing. Don't segment the attention on to a thing or to one thing or to three things. That's the problem right there. Don't segment nothing, because you segmenting it is just your own idea, and that's what you're trying to see on the other side of the mirror that's reflecting back your own ideas. But instead of trying to look at the reflection of your own ideas that you call this and that and me and all this other shit, just be quiet. Get on the other side of the mirror so you won't see what.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that. Damn, it sucks he's breaking up.
Moment and just being still for 10 minutes a day will do that. And after
10
30
minutes
days,
a day.
After 30 days, a person will notice significant changes in the way that they engage with their own mind and emotions, be it on accident, because I guess somebody you managed to somehow get to a point to where something that would have normally solicited a certain feeling or thought doesn't do that, and you notice it. Or you may make a like riding, like how when you ride a bike and you fuck around and realize you actually upright, like, oh damn, I'm doing it. Whether you do it that way, where you be like, I just did something that I didn't know I could do until I did it, and then saw that I did it, and it was like, oh shit, now I got a different way to be able to operate, and it starts spilling off into the rest of the life, which is the same reason why like how you do one thing is how you do everything. Because
I'm a big proponent of that. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Shine, I know you're super big onto meditation and breath work, right? I mean, you've talked about that with me a bunch. You talked about it on this show a bunch. Do you have any recommendations for people that are starting out breath work, meditation wise?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you can't really go wrong with Wim Hof. A little bit of Wim Hof in the morning, even a couple minutes. Like, people think like you have to say it. And like sometimes like starting with breath work can be easier than just starting with sitting meditation. Some people's minds are so fucking fast that just trying to sit is like death to them. But it's like a muscle, right? People expect to just be able to sit there for 20 minutes when they've never trained their mind. You're sitting for 10 minutes and it's like, oh, I can't do this. It's hard. My mind races. It's like, yeah, that's why you're supposed to do it. Like,
it's the whole point. I'll be like, it'll undo itself. You just gotta like get out the way for real.
Yeah, you're reconditioning just a lifetime of just subconscious thinking. Just constantly thinking. You got to think like the more you train your mind to hone your focus, the better quality everything's going to be. Most people just walk around completely sleepwalking all the time, just unconscious, just bumping into things, completely plugged into the matrix. And when you actually take some time to cultivate that presence, everything in your life, and like how many times you hang out with a friend or hang out with a group of friends and people aren't even there. Like they're they're on their phone. They're just on auto pattern. I really noticed that after Vipassana. When I came out of like a 10-day silent meditation retreat, Vipassana, you just notice how unconscious every single thing that everybody does the second they wake up to the second they fall asleep. So even just when you start out, just taking a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the evening, because when you do that, especially when you do it in the morning, even if you're just breathing for a minute or two, the rest of your day, when you start to get wound up, you're just going to come back to the breath. Like it doesn't even have to, you could do it 2 minutes in the morning. And then the rest of the day, you're like, okay, I'm stressed. Take a breath. Come back, center, focus. But I've been slacking on my breath work lately and my meditation. I've been totally slacking.
Dude, I'm on day 21 of my daughter on her methamphetamine arc. She's 3 and no naps. She's still up right now. As soon as this podcast ends, I'm going to have to go try to put her down. But every morning since this started, every morning I take 5 minutes to just I come downstairs, I say a prayer, and then I just sit in silence.
Please God, let my child sleep today.
And what I realized, what I realized is it definitely like brings your cortisol down. You know what I'm saying? Like no sleep, like totally shot. But I just do that for a few minutes, and it's like, and then it's all good. Like sun wakes up, the chaos starts, but it's like I'm almost like looking at it from the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yeah, man, like we good. Like
it's like
everything's
it's
good.
like the way I like to put it is like it's imagine playing a game. Imagine how hard it would be. See, GTA is fun because you know it's GTA. But imagine if you just woke up one day and you played GTA the same way, like with the controller on the TV. You're not in the fucking game. But imagine if you woke up one day playing GTA the same way, but in your experience, like the experience you having while holding the controller isn't as a motherfucker holding the controller. No, you're holding the controller, but you are experiencing the fucking game from like two-dimensionally in the fucking, like in the damn game itself. That would be miserable because you would not feel like it's something that you can do, that you're doing, that you are capable of fully executing whatever the hell is happening right now. It'll feel like, oh shit, I'm trapped. I can't do shit. I don't know what to do. It'll feel like hell. It'll feel like you stuck somewhere that you need to be escaping, but it ain't that you need to escape. It's that you need to like back the fuck up because you too close to the situation. And in this case, the situation is material life, whether that's our body, the impulses in our body, whether you're talking about hormones, emotions, or just physical shit happening around us. Like when you get too close to a thing, it doesn't become something you're doing. It becomes like you. And if life ain't going a certain way and your life look like shit to you, then you shit. And if you shit, your life shit. And if your life shit, you shit. And if you shit, your life shit. And that's hell. Because you can't escape that loop by going into another loop. You literally have to freeze that motherfucker and stop and pretty much just eat. It's almost like the drowning thing where like when you drowning, you can save yourself by relaxing at the minute you start tripping, but most people don't. Most people have to have a cool down period. And in that cool down period of like drowning, you stop drowning at some point, but you like 3-4 feet underwater. So now you have to fucking accept the consequences of your own ignorance and still hold your fucking breath. You still gotta not breathe, but you gotta not breathe intentionally. And if you intentionally, you float to the surface. But most people usually ruin something for themselves and then cannot sit through the cleanup process. Like when you stop fucking yourself up, your life starts fixing itself instantly. Like right now, the minute you get your shit together, somebody wake up at an hour earlier to do something that's gonna later on affect you like in 3 fucking months or some shit. But if you can't sit through the cleanup process, like feel it like it's like a cup of water, you fill it with shit and water, and you try to put it under a faucet and dilute the shit out of it, but you can't hold it while all the shit falls around your hand. But if you can sit through that, if you can hold it long enough, all the shit will disappear and it'll just be clear water and you'll win. But you have to hold your attention right there, and that shit can be like, imagine doing something unconsciously for 10 years and then creating like 5 good years of bullshit. And now you got to sit through the 5 years of bullshit. Wow. Giving it your all and really going hard. But you have to sit through your own shit while putting your intention in another direction. And in your experience, everybody will deem that as shit ain't working or you fucking up. It'll be a whole fucking crazy ass arc for you. But then at the end of it, it's almost like every story goes the same. One thing happened, you achieved the shit, and here we go. We off to whatever. You a rapper or a trader or fucking somebody that like to work on cars or a doctor or a lawyer. Like it always end up the same way. You did the one thing, you was where you was supposed to be. It worked out. It happened. It just always end in luck, blessings. It's the same shit, but it's just put on with a different jacket. So yeah, that's sort of God. That's how I be seeing it.
I love that. So Hop, you were talking about your journey, because I've definitely been following it, especially like the last year. You've I see the stuff you're talking about. We had to change your name because Hop Cardio. We had to. You were getting too stoic for that. So how did you get to this space? How did you get there?
It's been a long time coming. I didn't have the same like kind of broad upbringing as Farod, where I got to see a bunch of different perspectives to kind of like to make it make sense. But I think what really was the turning point for me, I was in college and I was on a full ride scholarship with Army ROTC. So I was about to go. I come from a long line of military, so that's like what I was about to go do. I was about to go give my life to Uncle Sam, do whatever the fuck they told me to do, and put a smile on my face while doing it. I always had that. I always had the positivity in there. But I did acid. I did LSD one summer, and I completely like disassociated, had like a near ego death. I didn't have the ego death quite yet at that point, but I realized something. I was like, man, one, this shit's way too fun. Like, there's no way I'm not going to want to do this again. So maybe I shouldn't be in the military. Two, I realized like it's all about love and it's all about like positive energy. Like you get this overwhelming feeling of like, that's what the universe is made out of, at least from the core, from the source. Like what we actually should be focusing on is that like love energy. So after a few more like experiences with that, it opens up your third eye a little bit more. And then you get to a point where you realize like with enough of different kind of experiences, and again, it's different for everybody. Like we were saying, Farod would recommend, people sit down in silence for 15 minutes through the day. Shiny's saying, breath work is good. I remember like when I first kind of like understood that I'm able to meditate, that you're able to meditate through your life, I was mowing lawns. Like I'm just sitting there mowing lawns, completely like not paying attention to anything, just kind of going, you want to say going through the motions, but you're kind of like just letting the universe take care of itself while you're sitting there walking along.
Yeah.
It's some pretty crazy stuff. But like when you learn what the purpose of meditation is, to disconnect from reality, to kind of like completely remove yourself from it. Like Farod said, like you're almost removing yourself. You're causing space between you as a being and you as an observer who's just observing what's going on here in your experience. So like the more distance and space you put between your expectations and everything you think about the world, the more peaceful and the more likely things will just start to happen for you rather than you trying to make things happen. And that just like throughout all of my experiences has just made itself more and more apparent as I get further along into my spiritual journey. Over the last year, like with everything going on with Giga, tons of spiritual experiences there, but I got super into like Christianity and I was going deep into that, but now I've gone full circle and I've been studying freaking Jewish mysticism. I'm 14% Ashkenazi Jew. So I'm like looking at the Kabbalah, which is some crazy ass shit that they're talking about. And it's just like, there's so much, it's like a never ending thing. And it's not like one size fits all. It's everybody has their own idea of like how this shit all works and they get to figure it out at their own pace.
Yeah.
I
always tell people, man, you gotta like, everything tied back to, well, the way the world has come to be seen by the majority of humanity for its shit. A lot of our existence is always tied back to physicality. So it's like when we talk about age, people don't understand that when you experience the world, even if it's for a fucking moment or for a continuous like point time in your life, when you experience the world beyond the ideas that create, like when you talk about separation and shit, the ideas of separation and division, not as things that exist, because hell, you can experience whatever separation is or space and time and distance is, fuck what it is, you can experience it. And as an experience, when you see existence, yourself, however you want to understand them two things, yourself as it relates to existence, when you see that beyond the ideas of distance, time, and separation, you naturally put space. The space is already there between who you are and who you are not. But what happens, like what we was just saying, like what you were just saying, like people don't understand that they're seeing and understanding intelligence and understanding what it means to know something and all of that through ideas rooted in the material world. So when people don't do that, it's a natural fucking, I like to call it like a disease. It's almost like a decay. Like you naturally start to decay when you are searching for something that's infinite in terms of experience. Like we said, whoever wants some, how much of it they want. They want as much of it as they can get. Like if you were fucking even a person that's like, well, no, I just want a 4-bedroom house and a car and a family in a fucking neighborhood. I don't want that much. Well, how long do you want that? Forever? Shit. They don't want that for 6 months. They don't want you
end up wanting other shit too.
And think of exactly if a person was starving and he had never ate at all, and you was like, what you want? He's like, I want a full meal. I want to eat every day, and you feed him every fucking day with I'm talking about you can give him the best fucking food and drink in the world. He get fat as hell. I promise you, at some point he gonna say, shit, be nice to have a house to live in.
Yeah.
Nice to have a bed and fuck of I want a microwave. Shit, it's never enough, not because people fucked up. It's never enough because the hole you feeling is an infinite hole, but it's not a hole. It's basically like a pressure difference, like a void, and life can't operate like that. Like if you go underwater in a fucking submarine that ain't right, can't operate. It's gonna implode, and that's what happens. People going crazy or like suffering or losing their mind is a consequence of where they are as it relates to their experience. Like what you was talking about, like that's the different journey people are experiencing. If the spectrum is infinite, they're able to access different amounts of that spectrum at different times in everybody's life. So you might have a fucking 18-year-old kid that's like, he 18, but his experience of life in comparison to this other person who's 50 is this motherfucker see himself through, my name is Tom and I got this job and I work here and I was born to this family, and he know himself as an amalgamation of ideas that was cultivated by strictly the culture, the time, the place, wherever he was born and shit. Yeah. But you had this other person who 18 coming to the world, family full of ideas. We all got a family, we all got a culture and a place that tell us a bunch of shit. But this person engages with those ideas differently. They might engage with them, and he 18, but he ain't engaging with them the same way the 50-year-old is, because he looking at him like, well, I can engage with him, but I'm not really, he can do the thing, but it won't really matter in terms of identity because he's not identifying with it. Like that's one version of saying living in the world without being of the world, being able to still do what you need to do, but with how you were saying, with a distance in the way you experience it, so you don't see your ideas as the fucking thing, but you see yourself past the ideas, so the ideas just become, just another day, but it's still my wife's birthday, so let's have fun because we can. Not because it is something, but because we're finna make it something. I said it's your birthday. We agree to that. We're gonna do this because we choose to experience this moment like this, not for any other reason. Because when you start living like that, that's intentional. Like you're not doing shit because you're supposed to, because it's like all these different ideas attached to it. You're doing it because for every reason you got is solely created by you. Like, I'm doing this because it's what I want to do. Shit, I want to live like this. I want to celebrate the day that this person changed, that came, got their body and was like, fuck it, they turned 1 today. So let's do that. And it changes the way you are able to experience your life, because now your situations and shit not dictated by, they're not dictated by what you're seeing, hearing, thinking, and all of that. It allows you to be more benefit to yourself and the people around you. But most people don't understand that everybody is being born at the same time, in the sense like, well, we all was one. We was all born at some point and gained a body, but the degree of intelligence that you are that is utilizing this body is not perceiving the world, the infinite spectrum of experience, the same way as everybody. So I could say some shit to one person, like two mystics can talk to each other and be like, yeah, we perfectly get what the fuck we saying. We speaking the same language, basically. But then he go to fucking go to downtown New York or something and start saying that shit. People like, who the fuck this is? Like, you go to the right place, you crazy as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you go to the wrong place. I mean, you go to the right place, you making sense. You go to the wrong place, you crazy as hell. So people don't get that's how it works. So we see intelligence on like a finite spectrum. So that's why we'll compare two people together because they the same age or some shit like that. But in reality, even if it's a bunch of people that operate like that, that's not because it's objective, because an 18-year-old or a fucking 50-year-old or a fucking what we did in terms of how we used our bodies at 5, none of these experiences are objective, and humans can go far beyond whatever ideas of a limit in terms of understanding and being able to engage with ourselves and our experience than what most people think. But because that's not really explored, it's one of them things like what you say, it's always good, nothing ever happens. Like it's always been like that, so it's just always like that. So there's nothing to see there, so we don't pay attention to it. So we, end up, we spiral at 25, and then you go through a midlife crisis at 40,
50,
yeah, it's the same. Yep, it's the same cycle. Yep, same shit. It's just dressed up different. Some people call it's the same experience, but people usually go through it at 25, and then like in their late 30s, and then when they get like in their 50s and shit. But all three of them things, the midlife crisis, that feeling like you don't know what you're gonna do with your life, and that feeling of confusion at one of them points, they all the same thing. It's just that suppression of missing something that you've been pushing down for all them years, constantly bubbling up. But most people either implode under that shit, and that's how you end up with a lot of people taking their life and shit. Like they'll implode under the not knowing and just the silence of nothing actually being nothing, because they didn't never get the chance to be like, oh shit, it's right here, let me go here. They always told it's out there, so when they don't see it out there, they just mentally check the fuck out.
I feel like gratitude helps a lot.
Man, that's what I've been on. Fuck.
Gratitude helps ground for myself, speak for myself, like, you're having a tough time. Last year wasn't a great year for me, but it was like, I continued to focus on like, dude, I'm like, look, I got the best wife in the world. I got 2 healthy kids. I'm healthy. It's like, dude, I'm grateful as shit. Like playing baseball, teaching my kid how to play baseball today. Finally understands how to load his back leg. Been working on it for 2 days, drawing lines of chalk on the street, making him stand on one foot, trying to figure it out. Dude, he finally figured that shit out today. And it's like, damn, bro, like, let's go. And it's the materialistic world, right? This consumerism that we're in really it just kind of strips that away from a lot of people. And I think that's a lot of and I think that's a lot of pain in the world right now, is because people forget to be grateful for what they have,
because that grit, man, that react, think about it. If you already, the easiest time to stop drowning was the very fucking moment you started drowning.
Yeah.
But when you go under the water and you like multiple feet under the water, that's the illusion of what's happening is not only still just as close as it was up there, but now it looks like it's bigger. Now it's like, God damn it, now there's just nothing but water. So you are more compelled to say, hold on, lifeguard, I know you telling me to relax. I'll relax when I get done panicking. The problem is, though, when you get done panicking, you'll be dead. And that's how, think about this. You hear people talk about near-death experiences and shit. This is why most yogis, monks, mystics, motherfuckers that done died and came back or whatever, they always tell you the very fucking moment that most people die is the very moment they realize they never started living. And that's the reason. Because you get right to the bottom of the water, you finna die. And you like, all right, I'm done drowning. And now I'm ready to relax. And that relaxation is what was needed. But the problem is you relaxing because you no longer have an ability to operate your body because your fucking body is dead. You killed it. So you became intelligent. You realized some great shit about life, but you realized it right when you ran out of fucking life.
Yeah.
So what you saying causes people, when people do that, like, because I still to this day, like, I walk outside and look at these big ass trees and I just stand there many times early in the morning just watch it. Because when I meditate facing the east, and when I'm done, I'll go walking in that direction, and I just watch like the sun come through the trees. I watch the wall. I watch the dew come down and then watch the shit evaporate. just being able to just see what's happening and be okay with seeing what's happening without having to label it or even put an idea on it. And if I'm gonna put an idea on it, I'm damn sure able to recognize like this is fucking amazing. Like anything that's ever happening is happening right now, ever. Like anybody that's gonna be born or die right now is doing that shit at this moment. Anything that's ever gonna be built or thought of is being built and thought of right now. Now that changes, but you know, it's happening right now, not over there. Nobody ever died over there. Everybody that died right fucking here, right now. They never experienced that shit as nothing else. So when you see life like that, it does change the way you engage with the stuff that you're dealing with, and that also changes, whether intentionally or not, the outcomes and the shit that happens. Because if a person just go on if they just completely forgot about their goals, even if you don't have to, but if you did it, like we could go really radical with it. Like if a person just forgot about any goal they fucking wanted, like fuck all the goals, I'm okay with goddamn it never achieving nothing other than what I have achieved right now, and they just completely throw the things in their heart in the fucking trash and just say fuck it, I'm just finna me and my family, fuck all the plans I had in the future. I got this right here, my family or whatever, my house or whatever they got right now. They got that, they take that and they just run with that. If they focused on that every day for 45 days, I swear to God, the shit that they so-called threw away with, even though they claim to not want it, you don't want it no more. Oh, you don't want it no more. You don't give a damn about it. You don't care about it. Nothing. The shit would still end up happening because not because you made it happen or you did some shit. Because the shit that's really in your heart, like if it's really something that's in your heart, that shit don't go away. Like you could forget about that shit. How many people then tried to suppress things they really felt about themselves for fucking decades just to turn 50 and then still do it? You still gonna do it because it's still alive. So if you really got something in your heart and you know it's in your heart, like you ain't bullshitting, like not thinking about it for a week ain't gonna make you forget about it. If you just throw that shit in the trash can and just minimize it and just literally commit to the process of not giving a fuck about it or even thinking about it and just completely living in whatever life you got to whatever fucking degree that you find glorious, that shit would actually not only happen, but happen way faster than whatever you trying, you would accomplish in, let's just say, some shit that was taking somebody 10 months to do, that would take another person working hard as fuck, 10 months to do, would take your living easy. Probably you could do it in a matter of 6 months. Like that shit happens all the time. How many times people achieve shit every day that somebody else been working on for their whole fucking life? Yeah. Yep. It just, all that matters is you have to, if you can get yourself the right way, just how they say all it takes is one trade, it's the same fucking way. Yeah. A person would come out more lucky trying to get themselves right just one fucking time in a 5-minute spell. Like if a person accidentally, I don't know, have no other word for it other than lock the fuck in right here and there's for 5 real minutes, like 5 real fucking minutes. Yeah. If they did that shit right on accident one time, it could have literal fucking life-changing effects for the rest of their fucking life. How many times people have said 1 5-minute thing completely altered their whole fucking life? Like that's literally that's how it goes, but most people are not aware of none of that. So it kind of, not only does it have to happen, but it has to happen fucking randomly, not because they're trying and they're actually,
because they're trying.
It has to happen like fucking randomly, and that's the odds of that happen. The odds of the world making you into the motherfucker that just knows that they're gonna do some shit and then achieve this, that's so fucking slim. That's why statistics look how they do. But if you intentionally do it and you set out on that shit yourself, like when I was talking about I made a tweet about Giga and I was like, I was telling people my price target, like what I think, where I think Giga going, and I was like, I don't even debate that shit. Like I don't even. It's that not because I can't, but because I don't. For me, it has nothing to do with fucking trying or possibilities. It's just that like the way I'm looking at, even if I wanted to use the fucking numbers, I could, but I don't. I'm just straight up off like feeling shit out, and I'm just like, nah, this is This is that. And if it's not that, I want anybody else who feels like their ability to wield something as it stands, or make that not a possibility, even if it's 100,000 people, to see if that shit is stronger than my ability to say, like, yeah, that's what it is and that's what it's gonna be. I ain't never had a hard time like commanding some shit to be the case and it actually being the case. So I just kind of throw that around as intentionally as I can. And I doubt that if I'm, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm saying some shit gonna do something and this is where it's going, then that's where the fuck it's going.
Yeah.
Really
Damn, Farod, this hour flew by, dude. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
No.
What would you and Hop, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much.
It's over already? No,
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna do 3 hours.
I literally hear my daughter still screaming, so she's still up. That's great. I'm gonna go handle that. But Farod, do you have any closing thoughts for the Giga community?
Man, meditate and know what the fuck you know. I'm telling you, all the tweet, the shit I'm saying is nothing but a reiteration of my Twitter. Know what you know. Nothing fucking. What makes it easy about Giga is that we got the numbers. We got all the fucking numbers and the metrics say everything. So if you need the devil, we got the devil. You can get the physical. I can show you some numbers. I can show you some fucking percentages. You could see that. Yeah. But that's not even the important shit. The shit that means nothing is wonderful. So the shit that's important, which is what the people know and can do off the back of that. If Giga having wonderful metrics makes it easy to hold, then what happens when you understand that even if it had shit metrics,
it was still gonna happen.
Still do whatever you want to do. I want people to remember that where this shit goes is the same. For one, normies, the people that hold it are gonna go wherever, because they're the unconscious bunch of people. They ain't normies, don't fucking meditate. But the 1%, the conscious group runs the narrative. A bunch of fucking Jesus Christ, if we had 10 of them, could sit in a room in the middle of the woods and completely orchestrate the direction of a whole fucking civilization. Not they're actively out there physically doing something, but because they are operating from a more intelligent place within themselves, and who is operating on the highest level has the most say-so over what happens in the fucking material. So if everybody continue to understand what they hold, why it's good, first and foremost, because you fucking say so, and just sit with that and live. Go to the gym, work out, meditate, do whatever the hell you do. Just do it gracefully. Have a fucking blast doing it. There is not a number that fucking exists on the number, because the scale on a chart is infinite. That number go up to fucking, that bitch goes up to infinity. So the bar of where that number is, or where the price stops at any given point in time, is directly determined by the people. And if the people know that, then they are the initial. And if they the initial, other people who represent that and understand that, or even if they don't understand it, they come and then understand it, fall into that. And if people continuously fall into that point, I was talking to Griff about this. I said, we was talking about it, and I was like, people don't understand that if the GameStop shit happened, if it would have been allowed to happen the way that it was supposed to happen, it would have broke everything. Yeah, it would have broke it. Bruh, it would have been the largest fucking financial event in the fucking history of any financial fucking market ever. So when you have the situation that you have with Giga, you have people or a community of people that either know this as individuals or are beginning to know this, not just on a fundamental level, like the fundamentals look good, but wait a minute, the fundamentals is great, and I have a higher understanding of fucking life. You end up with a vehicle that has the potential to do something in an unstoppable way that has never been done before, and would certainly for a fact make you sound like you've lost all of your fucking mind if you were to try to convey it to somebody else. And as long as we remember that, and anybody that hold Giga remember that, the heights of where it goes, and if you use a fucking long-term horizon, is unbelievable. Like, it's some shit that you would not, that it's the shit that makes the news. It's the shit they make the movie about. It's the shit that people actually look at and go, damn, how the fuck did I had $100 of that? There's no fucking way that I could have. Yeah, that kind of shit. So yeah, meditate. It'll change everything
Awesome.
in your life. So include
Farod,
the
huh?
bags
I
that you
appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys
Appreciate
so
you.
much. You have a great
Good
night, guys.
talk.
You
Stay
too, bro,
Giga,
man.
bro.
Y'all have a good night.
Stay Giga.
Most of us often chase rather pumps than established memes. And a green candle is somehow spoiled for us until it's screenshot. We stare at charts, forgetting it changes nothing. We watch charts